Are we
We
back?
are. We're back.
All right. Well, then I was just looking up my blood pressure, 120 over 70, and it says for a 35-year-old adult like myself, male, that's pretty good.
Well, excellent.
Remember, I'm Benjamin Buttons. I'm 58 going on 35.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So we're
Aren't we
here.
all?
Do what?
I said, aren't we all? I'm going on
Yeah,
35
another
again.
edition of Live Feed Read. Let me give a shout out to JJ Massaro, who had a birthday this week. He's 60 years old. Yay,
Cool.
JJ.
Yeah, let's
Woo!
get a
All
clap.
right, happy birthday. Long time friend. Oh, there you go. Let's see, it's a beautiful day out, windy. I'm looking out my forecast. There's not a cloud in the sky. It's in the 80s, low humidity, so it's a beautiful day.
Nice.
So today's topic is a wrongful death, the school board, and a kid crossing the street. All right. So what happened was
So wait, it's the school board versus the
somebody
family?
sued the school board
Okay.
because a student, while walking from home to the bus stop, got hit by a car.
Elementary, high school.
They did not include the age in the
Okay.
case.
Okay.
But before I get to that case, is what's bringing us here is I got the call where here locally somebody's child. Now the child that called me, they weren't killed, as is the case that I'm going to talk about. There's a
So
couple
you're
of them.
the two different things. You got a separate case, not the wrongful death case. This is
Yeah,
something
the
else.
wrongful
Okay.
death. Well, what happened is I had to look up case law and
Mm-hmm.
research whether or not you could bring a case
I got
against
you.
the county, or in this case, the school board, which is kind of one and the same.
Okay.
If your child is walking to school, crossing a busy street, and gets hit by a car.
Okay. Interesting.
Okay, so let's start with that.
Okay.
Mr. Ed McMahon to my Johnny Carson. So
Oh no.
you have 4 kids.
Yeah.
I know you homeschool them, but either way, let's just say you didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And or one of them wants to go to school, and they leave your house. They're walking down the street, but there's the bus stop for whatever reason is on the other side of a busy street.
Okay.
And as your child's crossing the street, they get hit by a car and either severely injured or killed or otherwise.
Okay.
And your position would be, well, you could have put the bus stop on our side of the street. There was no reason to put the bus stop on the other side of the street because my child's the only one that catches the bus at this particular location. And the bus goes down one way to pick up kids and back down the other. So why did you make my kid cross the street? And because you did, my child is deceased and you're at fault, school board, pay up.
Okay.
How does that lawsuit go?
I'm guessing you skipped a lot of stuff, so I'm guessing none of it matters. I have a million questions, but I'm guessing.
Go ahead. Well, yeah, go
Like,
ahead.
is it a 2-lane street or? Like
No, let's just say these cases, as was mine, are no, they're busy streets.
Okay.
Not 2 lane, not 1 lane, one direction, one the other.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And it was near an intersection or no?
Um,
Or was there
cases
anything
the
else?
cases that I read did not say. They just said
Okay.
they were crossing a busy street when they got hit by a car and killed.
So
And the
nothing else was
person that
responsible for
called the person
directing
that called
traffic.
me didn't elaborate either, to be quite honest. But for purposes of whether or not you can bring that case against the county or whether you cannot bring the case, that doesn't matter. So that's really not
Yeah.
that's not a factor.
Yeah, I was thinking more along the lines of is something else responsible for directing traffic nearby that
Yeah.
but okay. So um and the person that was hit,
The student,
the student that was hit, um they were
they're
was
walking,
the bus
they're walking to
left
the bus
or was
stop.
the
Don't
bus
make it
still
harder
there?
than it is. They're walking to the bus stop, crossing the street, and got hit by a car. And the parents said, "You put the bus stop in an area that's
This is your
dangerous.
booking reminder.
It's dangerous. It's a busy street. You shouldn't have put it there."
Okay.
Yeah, that basically simple facts.
I don't think there's a case. That's my opinion. I got
Okay.
Because there's a lot of, you'd have to prove negligence, right?
Well, their negligence, they're saying, is that putting the bus stop
They put the stop there.
on the other side of the dangerous street and making my child walk across that street was negligence.
But every street crossing it carries a little bit of danger. I don't know the answer. I'm just kind of playing.
Oh, you gotta pick one.
Yeah,
Case
I would
dismissed.
say no, there's no case.
Okay, so case dismissed. Well, you are correct. And when I told this mother that there's nothing I can do for her, of course, she got angry.
Yeah.
But
I imagine so. Yeah.
I don't know. But here's the deal. So I gave you the facts, and it says basically that the court. This is a Supreme Court case. Says a busy roadway does not constitute a dangerous trap because it is not created by the school board. So they tried to argue that there's like the dangerous trap doctrine where you did something that lured the kids into this trap.
Like the construction zone thing we've talked about before.
Well, that's different. And so and back to what you had said, the dangers of a busy roadway are apparent.
Yeah.
And that the school board does not owe a duty of care to the student while crossing the street.
Yeah, I would say, I was thinking that, like generalizing out, every road comes with some level of danger. What is the school board responsible for in this circumstance, right? Crossing a road doesn't constitute something they created. I know that putting the bus stop there, but like the bus stop's got to go near a road, period. So that
it says that the court noted it would be impossible to locate a school bus stop at any place which would not have some potential danger for some student.
Right. Yeah. My mom used to be a school bus driver, and I remember there were so many times. She was always very, very cautious, very careful driver. They had bus driver rodeos. Did you know that?
Say again?
They have bus driver rodeos where they go like drive obstacle courses and stuff.
No, I didn't know that.
It's wild. Yeah. Anyway, she was always terrified that one of the kids was gonna get hit by like a car that just wasn't paying attention to the lights and stuff that come out.
Well, it happens every day, probably. Yeah.
That's where I was thinking if the lights or the stop sign wasn't out, someone didn't see it, and they blew by the bus.
Those facts, like that's in law school where they change the facts, and you are correct. If the school bus lights weren't working or something to that effect, then you probably, the school board would be negligent. But what they're saying is basically school boards are not insurers of student safety. The control over the student regarding transportation extends from when the bus picks you up to when the bus drops you off at school.
Yeah.
You getting home from the bus stop or you going to the bus stop is not the school's responsibility, so to speak.
Yeah. Oh, that's not pleasant to hear.
No. Because you read about this, unfortunately, quite often, especially over in Pinellas, where some of those kids cross US 19.
Yeah.
And have gotten hit by a car. But unfortunately, the Supreme Court and the appellate courts have said walking to and from the bus stop, the county, the school board is not responsible for your child's safety.
Did you hear about, speaking of school buses, this is relevant, because this would be a case in which it most likely would be an issue, but did you hear about the school bus driver who was driving and then like passed out? I think this is Minnesota.
And then some kid took the wheel or something.
The kid took the wheel and was
I did read that.
Call 911, do this or that. I was like, dude, that kid's gonna go places in life. That's a thing. That's an awareness and a focus level that like you can't. I want to say some people are born with that at that age. It's a skill, but
No, yeah, I agree. Some of the kids,
the heat of pressure, everybody.
Some of the kids would have let the bus. Yeah, some of the kids would let the bus drive off the cliff. This kid, he did a Kramer. Remember Kramer? I got on the bus, Jerry, because the bus driver passed out, and Kramer's like, I made the stops, and Jerry's like, you made the stops because they kept ringing the bell.
Yeah. So in that case, had that gone differently and the boy didn't get it and the bus veers into traffic, that is a case in which a lawsuit would be brought against them.
Well, is it?
Yes, I would believe so.
Okay, you
Because
may be right or you may be wrong.
yeah, if they're responsible for the child from point A to point B, but not like leading up to those, that is in that
All right,
zone.
well, let me ask you this. What is the negligent act on the part of the bus driver that caused the kid's injury?
It would depend upon why they passed out.
Heart attack.
Heart attack.
35-year-old.
That's an act of God. I would think.
Heart attack, 35-year-old that never had one complaint or medical treatment for a heart ailment.
Yeah.
Not taking medication, exercises, works out, jogs, fit, Mr. USA, driving a school bus, 35 years old, passes out from a heart attack and everybody dies.
I would think that's an act of God. Like that.
Well, it's not an act of God. God didn't kill it. But
no, I mean, but isn't that a thing in the law? I don't know what they're called, but like,
that's in law we call
tornado.
that shiz with a Z happens.
Okay, well, yeah, I don't know what the actual.
Well,
term is,
and here's
like,
here's
like
what
if
happens.
a palm tree, and you can show there's no negligence on the part of the people who maintain.
Don't shift the palm tree. Stick with the
palm
facts. So
falls on the.
and I've had this case more than once.
Yeah.
And the answer is simply this: if you had no knowledge that you had this condition, whether it be a stroke in your brain, heart attack, you name it, and you never passed out before, you never saw a doctor, you never had a complaint, you're in good health,
sudden onset,
so then you're not negligent, and that's what's called an affirmative defense to this crash. And we had that case where that's the position that a defendant took. He was like, 40 years old and said, well, yeah, I rear-ended 2 or 3, crashed, right up here on Providence and Lumsden, smoked everybody, and said, I passed out. So we filed suit, and once you get into suit, guess what happens?
You start getting
take his deposition.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen a doctor for seizures or otherwise? Well, they're not going to lie. Yeah, way back when. So then you start digging, right? Oh, the guy has had more than one, there's a male, more than one crash from passing out, saw the doctor, knew he had a condition, so they lost.
Yeah, that's a negligence.
Right. Well, get this. And you can't make this up, Jason. About 6 months later, I'm reading the paper, and I'm reading where
no, not again.
A male had went off the 75, flipped the car over, and died. And when he hit the ground below,
was it this guy?
It was.
Are you kidding me?
You can't make it up, Michelle.
No, you can't make it up.
And so he was driving again. This time it cost him his life.
That's inappropriate, maybe.
So to answer your question is, yes, you may be liable, and you may not be liable. And so it just depends on if you knew you had a medical condition such that you were taking a risk by driving, so to speak, then that's negligence.
That's interesting. Yeah, the bus thing really brought. I think everybody is like accountability Sue happy when it comes to something with the city or the county or something like that, especially with schools.
Well, it is, and the sad thing is
everyone gets.
And honestly, what happens oftentimes, parents complain long before their kids gets picked off, or some kid gets picked off or gets hit by a car, but that's just not how it works. I mean, unfortunately, they said, going to and from, that's on that's not on us. And of course, you have a dead child, so it's not an easy decision, of course. But it's the decision that it's just the law and how it works in Florida. I can tell you that. And one was a Hillsborough County case.
It might be different in other places.
And was Miami. Oh, I can't speak for other states how they hold. This is just Florida, and that's where I practice law. And the same thing back to your case for a regular car and how heart attack and things of that. So the thing is, people call and I tell them, A, B, or C, understand this isn't Paul Reed making
Yeah,
this.
I think people might take it personally, like, oh, you just don't want to take my case, or
Exactly. And I got news for you. There's not, I hate to be like an ambulance chaser, but there's not a lawyer in the world that looks at a wrongful death and does not try to find out a way to help the family members or the injured, not
sure,
injured because wrongful death, but the family members and the loved ones get justice. But
sure.
there are some things that are
There's a
just,
path or there's not, though,
yeah,
in
exactly.
some ways with
And
law,
so,
like
like I tell them, I say,
people.
look, don't kill the messenger. I only
Yeah,
fly them. I don't build them.
bro, that's got to be hard. It'd break my heart,
It
dude.
is, because
Having
they're
those
crying,
conversations.
crying. She was
Yeah.
angry, frustrated. I get the feeling I wasn't the first lawyer that I
Oh,
talked to, and to get
oh, now
rejected.
it's all building up.
Yeah, you get rejected and rejected, and
Yeah.
I'm like the
Jeez.
final straw that broke the camel's back, so to speak. But
Man, I
that's
don't know how you do that. That's hard. Those are hard conversations to have, man. I don't envy that. I think there's a lot of people who don't realize what lawyers do and have to go do on a daily basis. We only hear the big flashy cases and the Johnny
yeah,
Depp, Amber Heards, and
yeah.
you
Oh,
know,
I agree. It's
or what we see on TV, which is BS.
right. It
Right.
is.
Yeah.
Thank God for alcohol, Jason. Thank God.
You drink and be merry. What's a
Yeah,
margarita?
or at least eat and
Is
drink.
another day.
Sometimes you ain't married.
Yeah.
All right, so I don't
So
know
the
if
weekend's coming. What are your plans?
we're gonna get out. Well, I don't know. The Yankees are in town. The Stankies are in town
Yeah.
this weekend. Go Rays. Rays are on a tear. They're, I don't know, 26, 27-5, so they're doing well. The Lightning, God bless them, they really outplayed the Maple Leafs right up until the end of the game where they lost three
Oh,
times. So they're out. Um,
yeah. Ouch.
and
That
then
sucks.
I don't know, just chilling. What about you? Any plans?
You know what? I'm hoping this weekend is a little slow because I've just been like crazy busy lately, and
Yeah,
I would like to take a couple of breaths.
that's cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, again, when the pool warms up here in another month or so, I know you brought your kids
Ooh.
out last year. We had a good
Yeah.
time. We'll bring them out
Yeah.
again.
It'll be fun.
It's just a little chilly still, but here in May it'll warm up and
Yeah.
we'll have
Yeah.
a little hamburger and hot dogs and baked bean
Hamburgers and hot dogs reminds
Saturday.
me one more time of the 4th of July parade.
Oh
I
yeah,
know
good,
I said
good,
it
good
last week.
segue. Good segue. 4th of July parade is when is that? Oh yeah, the 4th of July.
Oh, the 4th of July. Imagine
Yeah,
that.
we're looking forward to that. Hopefully everybody can come out and stop by and say hello. We'll be here on the corner of Lumsden and Parsons. Well, Parsons on one side, John Moore on the other.
That's a Tuesday. Are they doing the parade on the 4th of
Oh yeah,
July?
Fourth of
Okay.
July. Yep.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. Cool.
All right.
Yeah, man,
Well,
that's gonna be
that's all
fun.
I have for today.
Okay.
Uh, just when you're dealing with your kids in schools and roads and bus stops,
Buckle
and
up. Be
just
safe.
be extra
Take a
careful.
deep breath.
You may, I always kind of saw those parents that walk their kids, to the bus
To the
stop
stop.
and kind of like, well,
A
that's a
little
little,
overprotective.
yeah. But
Yeah.
because we didn't, I lived by Horse Man, 6 years
We
old.
did a lot of.
We rode
Yeah.
our bikes to
You
Yates.
just yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that was not something dear old mom did.
Yeah.
Was ride her bike with us. She probably was just getting home from work because she worked the night shift. But either way, nowadays with the creepers and the stranger dangers and the roads are just packed. I mean, in all fairness,
Hmm.
there was probably 500 people in Brandon when I was in elementary school, not 500,000. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Fair. That's
Yeah,
fair.
on
Yeah.
Kingsway,
Yeah.
you could probably drive the whole
Yeah.
street, maybe not even see a car.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
because there was orange groves all the way on one side, and
Wow. Different
but
times.
all right, well, take us out. That's all I
I
have.
will. All
Oh,
right.
wait a minute.
What?
I got my throwback Tampa Bay
Tampa
Rays.
Bay Rays.
Hold on, look at this. Check that. The name on the back, 64. I was born in 1964. What a
Nice.
shirt. So if you guys are looking to get your dad or mom or brother, mother, sister, cousin, these shirts are pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mother's Day is coming up.
Oh, that's a good one. Mother's
Yeah.
Day is coming up. Never too early to shop instead of going to the Publix and buying your roses on the
Yeah,
way
get her a
out the
book
door.
instead.
On the way out the door with your 6-pack.
Yeah.
Here, Mom, here's some smokes, a 6-pack, and some roses. Happy Mother's Day.
Oh,
What?
all right.
Hey,
On that
what?
note,
I guess that's better than nothing.
yeah, man. Yeah, anything that shows you care.
Better than nothing.
You know,
Yeah,
I think more as I'm getting older, calling my dad just regularly is important because waiting for those moments. I was listening to some guy talk about it online, and he was like, if you see your parents twice a year, and they're aging, he's like, you may think they live 10 more years. You're like, oh, I've got 10 more years to spend time with them. But if you see them twice a year, you're only going to see your parents 20 more times. What do you want to do with that? And I was like,
there's a country song. It goes something to the effect, like you put off all kinds of things until you can't. Well, I can't go fishing with your dad. Or you put it off until you can't. Give somebody a hug. Well, I'll put it off until you can't. That's kind of the theme of the song. And
yeah, man.
if you know nothing else from watching this podcast and what I do, till you can't could be like now.
Yeah.
You could me driving home, or you driving home, or it can be now. So,
take those moments.
Don't put off till tomorrow what you can do today. I guess that's the that's what I'm gonna leave. That's what I'm gonna leave my studio audience with today.
For today. All right, I'll roll us out on that then.
All
Have
right.
a great weekend.
Yepper.